What's cracking YouTube, man? We back finally with another video on the Cutlass. The crazy part about it is I've been trying to get y'all a video for like 3 days, but man, these parts for this car, O'Reilly's, man, been slacking so bad with giving me the right parts. Man, I've been going in and out of O'Reilly's getting stuff for this car and having to take it back because it's wrong. So I've been working on the exhaust leak, now that I got everything squared away. We wound up changing the distributor cap and the rotor, which I'm glad I did because the rotor was only hanging on by one bolt, so that might be why I was kind of running rough. I haven't fired it up since because I've been just working on other stuff with the car. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. So I went ahead and changed out the wires. Y'all see it's got all new wires. Changed those, I put a new cap, new rotor on it because the rotor was, like I said, barely hanging on by a couple threads, and that could have been bad. So I'm glad I checked that and took it off. But the problem I was dealing with was I went and I bought some exhaust manifold gaskets. This is what they gave me, and the guy argued with me up and down that this was right. I was like, nah, man, it don't fit. Yeah, say it'll fit a 307, but it's not fitting. The corners they're too big. I'm gonna have a huge exhaust leak, worse than I had. So I wound up having to get on Rock Auto and get the right ones. Y'all can see there's a huge difference in these and these, so I'm gonna be taking these back. I sent the guy pictures at O'Reilly's, and he was like, well, all right, you right. So he's gonna take the one back and this one and give me my money back. They're like 20 bucks, so anything is better than nothing. But anyway, gotta get this installed. See if y'all can see in here. I might have to get my light over here, but as y'all can see, it's half mounted in there. I got it lined up, and as you can see, it does not fit. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm gonna have to get all these bolts back out, and then once I get the bolts back out, then I'll go ahead and swap out this manifold. But we're gonna go ahead and get this out, work on getting it out, and try to get this new one swapped in. I'm really struggling out here trying to get this because it's cold outside. As y'all probably know, if y'all in the South or, Texas and Memphis, anywhere, man, we had like 7 inches of snow, which is crazy. So the garage is freezing right now, but I need to try to get all these bolts back out, which they're all brand new. The old ones came out with ease. I actually heated the motor up and then hit it with a little Kimball. All the bolts came out, none of them broke, so that's a blessing in itself. So right now I'm gonna try to swap this out, and once I get it swapped out, we'll go ahead and try to fire this thing up and see if the exhaust leak is gone. Also, man, I'm having issues with my brakes. I've been replacing stuff with that. I'll show y'all that real quick. We went ahead and put a new master cylinder in it and a booster. See, those are brand new, but right now we ran into another issue with that. I got the proportioning valve ordered. We should be getting that installed pretty quick, and I can bleed the brakes out. I thought, maybe I could recenter it, but nah, it just was rusted, frozen solid, and I had no rear brakes. Took it off, tried to recenter it, it's just solid. So we ordered a new one, it was like $30. We'll get that installed. But right now, I'm gonna get into trying to put this gasket in here and see if we can fire this thing up and see if it runs any better than what it did. So y'all give me about a couple minutes off camera. We'll get it swapped out and then show y'all if the exhaust leak is gone. So after about a 45-minute struggle, we got the new manifold gasket back on. All new bolts in. We torqued them down to 18 foot-pounds. So that should be good now on the exhaust leak side. But what I want to do is clean out all these little pockets that had oil dripping in them from that valve cover leak. Clean those all out so I ain't got to worry about real heavy smoke from the engine when I fire it up. I gotta do the same on the other side. I'm still waiting on my hot air tube to show up, but my new proportioning valve came in. Get this out and installed in the car as well. And we'll bleed the brakes out and try to fire this old Cutlass up tonight. Still pretty early, so I ain't hit ordnance yet. So right now I'm gonna wash my hands, put my centering tool in this, and then get it popped in the car. And once we get that in, bleed the brakes, we're gonna get fired up and see how well this car runs, because if that's the case, wheels are going back on it, And then we should be outside tomorrow trying to see how well it operates in the forward gears, because we know it don't have reverse. So yeah, we're gonna keep on going and see what we can do with it. I gotta get that turned around too. That bolt's the wrong way, so we'll get it turned around. Let me get this proportioning valve in, brakes bled, and then we'll be right back to trying to get it fired up again. So, got that new proportioning valve in, got all my lines hooked back up. Everything good there. Y'all see I got the centering tool installed. So right now, we gotta climb out under this car and try to get back to the top and actually start bleeding these brakes out. I actually gotta go ahead and start filling up my master cylinder. Now I got my tool and I'm gonna have my wife help me bleed these out. Already popped out. Got that AC Delco brake fluid. Dot 3. I don't know what the difference between dot 3 and dot 4 is. If you know, let me know. But we're gonna go ahead and fill up that reservoir. Get it filled up. And then we'll go ahead and put the cap back on. Once we get the cap back on it, we can get out here and get to actually getting all the moisture out of it. Try to get all the air out of the lines. Hopefully it works out and I can get the air out. We can get them bled out. Get that all situated. So right now, I'm about to grab my wife. We're gonna bleed the brakes out, finish up the brake bleed on it, and then see if we get a pedal. If we got a pedal, we're gonna go ahead and hopefully tomorrow try to drive this car. Hopefully tomorrow try to drive it. Cause I really wanna get it out of here so I can move this car, which it's about to go to the shop too. Probably not this week, but next week. Go get the intake redone. We're gonna get the water pump thrown on it. And there's a few other small things I'm gonna do to it while it's at the shop. That way all that'll be straight. It'll be completely done mechanical wise. It'll be done. All it'll be lacking is like the interior stuff. So that's not completely out of the way, but it's just on the back burner for now because parts for that are harder to come by than it is for this. Like getting parts for the Cadillac is really, really hard because they don't repop a lot of parts. So definitely hard trying to get stuff for that, but we still working on it. But the Cutlass, you can get parts for these like readily available everywhere. So right now, let's go ahead and bleed these brakes out. They're gonna be done, and once I get them bled out, we'll crank this joint up and see how the brakes feel, see how it runs, and then we'll go ahead and drive it. So after trying to bleed everything, we got the new proportion valve in. It's gonna be a while, man. This thing's got a lot of air in it. So I may go get me like a vacuum bleeder and try to suck it down with a vacuum brake bleeder so I can try that. Because it's trying to pump it, it's not really like pushing out anything from the front or the back. And we went ahead, we bled the master cylinder anyway before we hooked it up. So I think it's just got a ton of air in it. So I may be waiting on the brake stuff actually a little further than I want to. I may have to just get this thing running and driving and then just get it to work where I can actually throw it on the lift and do it that way where I can actually see what's going on or try to blow out the lines and figure out what the problem is. But right now, the brakes aren't performing the way I want them to, so problem after problem. But that's what we're here to do, solve problems. And like I said, it's a project, so we'll just decipher it one at a time, one issue at a time. And one thing I did forget, man, we went ahead and stuck the cowl hood on this car. I didn't show y'all that. It's got a cowl induction hood on it now. So that we got to get adjusted and get the spring hammered down tight where it ain't loose. So yeah, we actually making progress on the car with a little bit of stuff. We got the manifold on. Just got to get the brakes figured out. Once we figure out